Good morning. My name is Today I will be talking to you about education policy. Public schools in Chicago allow all students to use their cell phone in school. Teachers don't allow students to use all cell phones in class. Teachers think students are going to get distracted with cell phones. In many cases, cell phones are used over school. This affects students because they won't be able to contact family in case of an emergency. That is why I think schools should allow cell phones during class. If public schools allow cell phones during class, the students would have more technology to use for their work and assignment. Students should be allowed to use cell phones, would have more technology to use for their work, and help them research about a topic they have in school. With cell phones, students will be able to find plenty of information through our website. I believe that cell phones can be used as a library. Not all students have a chance to go to the library. Many rather fail the class for not having the book. With the help of the cell phones, it can help students find the website or book they're looking for. Students are being prepared for adult life with cell phones. With these devices, students will learn more things they didn't know about the internet. Students should be allowed to use cell phones as their tool for information to search out. Students will be able to research information quicker. With these cell phones, students can find information online classes. Cell phones should be allowed for students who don't have the opportunity to go make it easy for them to go get access for a book. If public schools allow cell phones during class, the students will have more technology to use for their work and assignment. It is a common knowledge that students are busy during their classes. I believe that students' phones can be used as a library. Students are being prepared for adult life with cell phones. Students will be able to research information quicker, therefore cell phones should be allowed during class. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deluna. Today I'll be talking about video games. Czech should make Call of Duty World War II. What I think Czech should make Call of Duty World War II is because Czech is a game developer who makes games. For example, Infinity Warhawk makes other games. But Czech just came out with Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and a DLC, downloadable content. Czech should make Call of Duty World War II. Czech could add on the storyline and also add on the storyline of zombies. They could also add on modes in the Call of Duty game. Also, Xbox put a photo of two pillars for Call of Duty World War II. And Amazon also put a box art of Call of Duty World War II in their website. Cherry could make this game, but has to wait until all the DLCs came out for Black Ops 3. And also, Cherry just came out with a micro DLC, and the micro DLC is from what they had on gear, stuff like that, and you could get on the game. And in the game, you can also buy COD coins with real money, and you can buy those, and with those you can buy supply drops, and earn things from the supply drops. Cherry has went to another COD developer, comes out with a game. Also, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and older had guns in real life, and they put in their games. And from Black Ops 2 and newer, they had guns that were made up and put in the games. In most COD games, you could buy a season pass, which gives you all the DLC for free, and the costs $50, and each DLC costs $15. And every COD game comes out with 4, and that could save you $10. The reason the church made this game is because they could add on the story of Call of Duty World War, and also add on the story of zombie multiplayer campaign, and maybe add in one new game. Another reason they should make this game is because most people who played the first World War game wanted to see a sequel come to the game, and gamers were wondering if they were going to make Call of Duty World War II. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Narakati. Today I will be talking to you about education growth. Students should be able to grade their teachers. This issue is important because it affects student education. It also affects their grades and their future. It affects them in a way that they will be afraid to ask questions. In that case, students won't understand a thing when the teacher is trying to teach, which can lead them to fail the test. The position is that students must be able to grade their teachers, because that will help a lot. It will help their teachers to know their mistakes in treating their students. Also, it could tell them if a student have a problem with a teacher and how they can solve it. All students, and not just some, all can have problems with understanding things, but if the students feel comfortable to their teachers, they will find it easy to go ahead and ask them. If teachers were mean, students can't be afraid of them. So they will be afraid to ask them questions about a lesson they're taking or a project they're having. That will affect them. Even when they are having tests, they could get confused and not know how to work it out. There are a lot of teachers that treat their students with disrespect, and they want their students to be respectful to them. But what's the point if the teachers are not respectful to them and they're not afraid? And that's not fair at all. Teachers must lead by example. However, teachers have to lead by example. If they want to be respected, they have to respect their students too. Some of the teachers yell and screams all the time. That makes some students cry and hate their teachers. It also makes them in a way that they don't want to go to school because of these problems that they're having, which leads them to miss a lot of work and things they have to learn. Students' life at home does affect how they do in school. Like, what if someone is sick or someone died? Students will start thinking about that person all the time, and they might get in trouble for not paying attention. Teachers should understand what their students is going through at home and try to help them. Just by them thinking that there is someone who cares about them, they will feel better, especially if that person was their teacher, which makes them feel happy. So grading the teachers could make them feel that someone knows about their problems and that help is on the way. Students who feel supported by their teachers feel that they are perfect, even though that there's nobody's perfect. But at least it's a feeling that they will have. That can affect the way they do at school. But students who feel that they are nothing because the teachers keep yelling at them, and they believe that they are the worst, which makes them feel sad, and they will start thinking that they can't do anything. They can't even try because they are afraid of being embarrassed by their teachers, and all the other students are going to start laughing at them. Students should be able to grade their teachers just Just to know that the students feel good and supported and not feel like they are someone that is useless or being used. By grading a teacher, the principal or at least our parents could know on whether that teacher is teaching the students or they are not learning anything. Grading the teacher must only depend on the way they treat their students, also on the teacher's treatment to their students. Finally, to know, do teachers really like their students? These are the reasons of why students should grade their teachers. Therefore, students should grade their teachers. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Homeroom. Today I'm going to be talking about education policy. I think cell phones should be used in schools. Cell phones today are a really important thing that humans need. For example, with a phone, humans can now contact with other people from around the world. People also use the phone to listen to music, watch videos, and for school necessities. So for this reason, I think the phones should really be a big part in schools, providing security, research, and to stay connected to your families. I definitely want phones in schools because I want a safer school. Fair communication with students with teachers. If you're having trouble and you don't want anyone to hear it, you can message your teacher and you can get a private talk with her or him. With the phone, you will have better communication with your teachers because you will be able to message them and tell them what you didn't understand and how they can help you. The teacher can send their students a picture of the lesson and what they need so they can understand it better. More money will be saved for schools. If you're allowed to take your phone to school, schools will stop wasting their money on millions of iPads and Chromebooks. Also, schools will no longer waste money on hundreds of calculators because most of the phones today have a calculator app. With that money that was not wasted, schools can improve their education with books and classrooms. Some schools really need to change bathrooms or classrooms because they're old and damaged. So with this money saved, they can make new bathrooms and classrooms much better. Advanced security in schools. If someone wants to break into school, you will have your phone to call for help. If you didn't feel good, you could call your dad to pick you up and take you to the doctor. If a tornado or a natural disaster were to happen, you will have your phone as a communication to call your family. Then you could tell them where you are headed and if you're okay or not. Your phone might even save your life. Use your phone as a tool or a research. You can find information about your project on the phone and save it to blogs.com. If there's a project that you call only work in class because you want to take the iPad, then with your phone you will take it to your house and work on it there. With the iPad, sometimes you can move somewhere because it's not a school's property, but your phone can take you to some places that you might find even more information. Use your phone camera. Most phones have the camera function. The camera, with this you can take pictures on the notes or something you were to forget your notebook here at school. You will have your phone to study and look photos. You can also take pictures, for example, of the map on the social desk class. So you can study it from there if one day you will have your notebook or agenda. Most phones also have a notepad, which allows you to write notes phones are a really good tool and can come in handy. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Andreas. All football players that make into the right leagues have a great talent, and they work extremely hard to get where they are. Football players deserve their money because they work their hardest for millions of people who watch football, and they deserve to watch the best football. Most of them haven't been to university, so they can't exactly become an engineer after their football career. Of course, they are paid so much. They deserve the money they get through fans, administration, and winning tournaments for all the good players. They are the ones responsible for all the money we made. It's only fair that they get it large. Of 60 million should also get their employers, engineers. Clubs pay more than 100% of turnover. Manchester United are the one that pay 70% of their massive turnover. Chelsea are paying over 90%. The best players cost the most. It is the same in Real Madrid, or the top highest paying team. The recession has top level soccer television contracts remain very cash having deals. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Eberhart School. Today we'll be talking about should teams be able to buy rated M games by themselves. Rated M games are a team's favorite games to play. This is a problem because most teams like to play games such as Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. Games like Mario or Pinball aren't really that challenging. This affects teams by not letting them play what they like. My position is against stores not selling rated M games to teenagers. Rated M games should be sold to teenagers at any game store. Most teens enjoy playing rated M games. Not many teens want to play games like Mario or Pinball at the age of 13 years or older. Not many teens talk about those games because teens play games like GTA or Call of Duty. Teens always talk about what brand they are in, such as Call of Duty, Halo, or GTA. Rated M games will bring family back together. When family members play games with their children, it will increase their connection with their children. When parents play rated M games with teens, they will most likely talk about what they are. Teens play rated M games with their parents' permission. Parents let teens play rated M games because it will show that parents care and have interest in what teens like to play. If your teenage daughter or son is mature enough, there should not be a problem for them to buy a rated M game by themselves. Rated M games are challenging to the brain. Rated M games are challenging because unlike Mario, you aren't really doing much but trying to run buildings. Games like Call of Duty or GTA are more complex because you are doing multiple things at once. Some rated M games aren't so bad for you. Games like Halo aren't all that bad. If anything, from Halo 1 to Halo 4, research has shown that profanity in the game has decreased a huge margin. The game used to have red blood, profanity, and lots of violence. Now, the game barely has any blood and violence. In fact, it uses blue blood when you shoot aliens. Most teens enjoy playing rated M games. Rated M games will bring family back together. Teens play rated M games with their parents' permission. Rated M games are challenging to the brain. Some rated M games aren't so bad for you. Therefore, stories should allow teens to vibrate and muse. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Marissa Collins and I'm going to be talking about family health. Parents should not purchase war toys for their children. Parents purchase war destructive toys for their children, for example, toy guns and play swords. Parents think it's just a toy that doesn't have any effect on their child, when really this toy is harmful to the mind of the child and determines the way they act in certain situations. When parents buy toys like play guns, swords, and other destructive toys, they are teaching their children that it is okay to play with guns and swords. This leads the kid to being violent. This affects the kid on who they grow up to be. I believe that parents should no longer purchase far destructive toys for their children. In today's society, it is difficult to shield a child from violence. This violence can come from television shows, video games, or even older siblings and friends. Parents can teach their children the limits and differences between having fun and using their imaginations, and actually wanting to harm someone. Although these toys are made of foam or plastic, this should make parents uncomfortable and make them think about what their child is really learning. Parents should not see play pretend God as a normal game, but as a harmful game. Kids should not hurt each other during pretend gun battles or any other type of battles. Hurting each other just shows a kid what a gun can be used for. Parents should also set limits for how much their kid plays with these type of toys. Making kids getting hurt obsessed with playing pretend guns like Nerf guns, and they turn almost everything they see into a gun. In September, an 8-year-old Florida boy was suspended from school for pointing his fingers like a handgun. Even 2-year-olds grow up wanting to play with guns. They see other kids doing a gun with their hands and they try to do it too. Some parents even play with their children, pretend gun battles or any other type of battles that involves a person's pretending. Even if the kids are surrounded by society setting up examples of violence, parents can take actions. Parents should not purchase war or destructive toys for their children. Nerf guns, swords, and things like this are dangerous to the mind of the children. Kids do not know the difference between fantasy and real life. They have fun with the toy, but they might not know what the real sword or gun will do. Parents send the wrong message to children and also put them in danger by letting them play with guns and other toys. Kids can pick up a real gun or knife and think it is safe when it is really not. Destructive toys make kids have impulses that make them act in a violent way, causing them to end up in trouble. Everything that a child does should be thought about twice by parents. Parents should know what is good for their kids. Therefore, parents should not purchase more destructive toys for their children. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Axel Burchan. My topic is about sports and entertainment. Today I'm going to be talking about that soccer players should be paid less than what they're being paid today. On average, a professional athlete earns no less than $660,000 monthly. Compare that to a salary of an average American worker putting in 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, or an average American soldier earning $40,000 a year who does not know when or if he will come back home. That total amounts to an alarming $680,000 difference annually between the annual salary of a professional athlete and a blue-collar American worker. Does that seem fair to you? Soccer players spend their money on expensive luxuries while some people don't even have enough money for the necessities like food, clothing, and shelter. soccer players should be paid less than what they're being paid today. Today's soccer players are being paid much more than before. According to the Professional Athletes Footballers Association, a top England player from the Premier League in 1957 would have earned £1,677 a year, including international game fees. That would amount to $75,000 today when adjusted to inflation. In the 2012-13 season, the average Premier League player earned a salary of about £43,700 a week, more than half of the annual salary that a top England player for the Premier League in 1957 would have earned in that year. Not only are soccer players being paid so much, but male soccer players are being paid more than female soccer players. According to the CNBC, the minimum salary of a female soccer player is $6,842, and the most a female soccer player could earn is $37,800. A player from the men's soccer league earns a $6,000 monthly or more depending on the league. Furthermore, soccer players get paid more than soldiers and firefighters who risk their own lives. The annual salary of a firefighter is $44,000 annually. A captain in the U.S. Army earns about $45,256 in yearly wages. Average players from the MLS earn around the league minimum, that is $36,500 annually if the player is younger than 25 years of age. If the player is older than 25, he can earn the league minimum, that is about $48,500. That's just the minimum. Soccer players also spend their money in unnecessary things. Many soccer players spend a lot of money buying multiple cars with major value. Take Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for example, who owns 5 cars, and one of them is a custom Ferrari Enzo worth $1 million. Many soccer players also use their money on very expensive houses. Neymar, a former Barcelona FC player, has $2 million in his mansion in Brazil and rents a property in Barcelona. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the highest paid athletes in the world, spends his money on very expensive clothes. The Real Madrid star spends $12,000 a week on clothes. He reported to bought $1,500 in champagne for his friends. He also reported to spend tremendous amounts of money for vacations to Miami with his friends. Many soccer players' salaries should decrease and be given to charities and communities in needs for schools, hospitals, and etc. 22,000 children die of poverty each year. 896 million people depend on $1.90 a day to survive. 795 million people do not have enough money to eat and starve to death. 6.3 million children died in 2013 alone because of preventable diseases, and 1 billion people entered the 21st century unable to read or write. Soccer players today are being paid much more than before. Male soccer players get paid more than female soccer players. Soccer players get paid more than soldiers and firefighters who risk their own lives. Soccer players use their money on necessary things. Many soccer players' salaries should be given to charities and communities in need for schools, hospitals, and more. Therefore, soccer players should be paid less than what they are paid today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Brian Morello. Today, I'm going to be talking about immigration. Immigrants should have an opportunity to become a citizen. Immigrants from the United States are having trouble getting their workers and jobs. This is an issue because immigrants want more money, and the United States could go low on money. The reason why the United States could go low on money is because immigrants are not paying taxes or paying their, if they have license. If immigrants became citizens, we would have more money than before. Every immigrant receiving country in the citizens. This process typically requires naturalization immigrants to demonstrate that they have achieved a certain level of integration into the host society by meeting a set of eligibility criteria, paying fees, and taking tests. Creating a path to earn citizenship will allow the U.S. to continue the rich tradition as a nation of immigrants and a nation of law. Undocumented immigrants contribute to economic growth. The academic economy literature finds that in the total of both high-scale and low-scale immigration that's increase economic growth. Immigrants increase economic order by reducing labor shortages and low and high-scale markets. Increased immigration would expand the American workforce, reach more business startups. Immigration should let their driver license to immigrants. They should be able to keep their driver license because they have been working hard and be able to live in this country. If immigrants could get their license, it would help the USA with money. The US could help us with the money because if the immigrants pays their license, they will help us with money. It makes US get richer. If immigrants had an opportunity to become citizens, they will get better jobs. If immigrants have better jobs, it will help the U.S. to create more jobs. It will create more jobs because the immigrants will force the U.S. to create more jobs. An approach to immigration reform that leaves a path to earn citizenship would endanger only a core principle underlying common sense immigration reform, but also some of its economic and physical benefits. Every immigrant receiving country in the industrial world provides a route for immigration to become citizens, immigrants to become citizens. Undocumented immigrants contribute to economic growth. Immigrants should have their driver license. If immigrants had an opportunity to become citizens, they will get better jobs. Therefore, immigrants should have an opportunity to become citizens. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Martin Martinez. Today I'm going to be talking about politics. Donald Trump should not be allowed to run for the presidency of the United States. Donald John Trump is an American business person and media personality. He is the chairman and president of the Trump Organization and the founder of Trump Entertainment Resorts. Most recently, Donald Trump is a Republican candidate for the presidential nomination. Known for his negative views on such topics as immigration and foreign relations, Donald Trump has demonstrated time and time again that his views are those of a bigot and border on racism. Qualities that go against the values of equality, freedom, and justice for all upon which this nation was founded. For these reasons, Donald Trump should not be allowed to continue his race for the Republican nomination. Donald Trump has no experience with any government job of any sort. He's never held any kind of elective office. He's never been involved in policy making to any real degree. He's never produced any kind of scholarly work or public policy. Donald Trump is saying that he's going to make a higher wall and make the Mexicans pay for it. The most important thing to know about Trump's immigration plan is that it will build the best wall ever. A beautiful major wall that will put all other walls to shame. And in a change from Trump's previous vague insistence that Mexico will definitely pay for the wall because he would make them pay for it. This version includes a detailed explanation of how it would work. He would make Mexico pay for it or else. He believes that Mexico will spend millions or billions to build a wall that will make it even more difficult for Mexican people to find jobs. He never really explained how he's going to do things. He knows he wants to get rid of Obamacare, but what will he replace it with? Something terrific, he claims. No plans, no ideas, no comprehensive walkthrough salvaged from the historic legislation. He just wants to get rid of it and replace it. He hasn't really released comprehensive plans for any facet of his would-be presidency. He did release a plan on illegal immigration, if you want to call it that, consisting of just 2 words, mass deportation. Donald Trump went bankrupt 4 times. Trump's first bankruptcy filing was probably the most personally painful for him. To come up with the funds he needed, he sold a 282-foot yacht as well as a Trump shuttle. The airline he operated at the time that flew between Washington, D.C., New York, and Boston, according to media reports at the time. He had to give up half of his ownership stake in the Trump Taj Mahal, but he did retain control of the property. His largest creditor was financier Carl Icahn, who held $400 million in bonds. Now Icahn is Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary should he be elected. In less than a year, he was back in bankruptcy court for his other Atlantic City casinos. This bankruptcy included the Trump Plaza Hotel in New York and the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, as well as the Trump Castle Casino Resort. He gave up half his interest in the New York Plaza to Citibank, but retained his stake in the casinos. His most recent bankruptcy came in 2009, after the company missed a $53.1 million bond payment that was pretty much the end of the road for Trump in Atlantic City. While his name remained on 3 casinos, he resigned from the board and gave up his remaining stake in the company. Donald Trump sues everyone. Donald Trump famously sued comedian and political commentator Bill Maher for $5 million in 2013. After Maher jokingly offered to give $5 million to a charity if Trump could produce his birth certificate. He sued Palm Beach County for $100 million because they refused to redirect planes further away from one of the Trump's estates. Trump didn't go back to bankruptcy court again until November 2004, when he filed to shed debt at his various Atlantic City casinos and a riverboat in Indiana. It was another quick trip through bankruptcy court. The company shed $500 million in debt and emerged from bankruptcy the following May. Trump turned over majority control of the company to his bondholders, but remained the largest single shareholder, and he once again kept control of the casinos. Donald Trump has no experience with any government job of any sort. He is saying that he is going to make a higher wall and make the Mexicans pay for it. He never really explained how he's going to do things. He went bankrupt 4 times. He sues everyone. Therefore, Donald Trump should not be allowed to run for the presidency of the United States. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Martha, and today I will talk about family health. Video games are competitive and should become a sport, but they are not. This is a problem because chess and poker are considered a sport. This affects mankind and the future of our generation. I am against people thinking video games are not a sport. Video gaming should be considered a sport. Video games require skills and mental focus. A person's comment on this topic was video games are challenging. You sometimes need to make a plan to complete a task in the game. Another person's opinion on this topic was video games played worldwide and playing video games can be a competitive activity. You also need tactics and skills to achieve a goal in the game. Poker and chess are considered a sport. A person's statement on this topic. In chess and poker, there is no physical movement. You sit in a chair for long periods of time. Video games should be considered a sport because there is also limited physical movement. His next statement was, you don't need strength or agility to play a sport. You just need mental focus and skill. In chess and poker, you learn how to play how your opponents play and practice the game. Just like when you're playing against someone you don't know in video games. In chess and poker, it is a competition in person, and in video games, competitions are virtual. MLG, known as Major League Gaming, is an organization of video game competitions. These competitions get about 11 million viewers, and football finals get about 8 million views. MOG stated that they are the #1 online broadcast network for professional level gaming. They also said that they are the longest running esports league in North America, and that they have over 9 million registered users worldwide. Video games can be competitive at times. Mojang said, Minecraft is a survival game. It teaches you to survive in Minecraft materials. You can use your imagination and build what comes to mind. Also, Minecraft has competitive competitions in the game. For example, Minecraft has Hunger Games, just like the movie. Minecraft has Sky Wars, which is you on a sky island with one tree and no weapons. In Minecraft, there's quick build competition, which means that you have to build something that goes with the word the judge gave you in a certain period of time. People think it is good for video games to become a sport. Teams put a lot of effort into what they have become. It takes a lot of practice and patience to become a team to play for the big money. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to start a pro team and expect to be good. You have to have lots of practice and strategy. Competitive gaming has tons of loyal fans like any other sport. Foster also states that 27 million people watch the video game competition worldwide. It's more fans than last year's World Series for the deciding game of the 2014 NBA Finals. That's a lot of fans considering it's just a video game. Video games have all the same things that any other sport has: practice, strategy, and fans. People think video games can teach someone communication and teamwork skills. Video games require skills and mental focus. Poker and chess are considered sport. MLG, known as Major League Gaming, is an organization of video game competitions. Video games can be competitive at times. People think it's good for video games to become a sport. Therefore, video games should be considered a sport.
Good morning, my name is Lucy Moreno. I will be talking about immigration. Illegal immigrants in the United States should be given the opportunity to become citizens. Many immigrants come to the United States. They come for a better opportunity and a better life. Instead, they are not treated equally as citizens. Citizens of the United States don't give immigrants the opportunity to have a better life because they think that immigrants just come to steal their jobs and think they are all criminals. Illegal immigrants in the United States deserve to become citizens. Everyone deserves the same rights in this country. This is a problem because without giving legal immigrants the opportunity to become citizens, immigrants will no longer come to the United States and the United States population will decrease. This is why I believe that illegal immigrants from the United States should be given the opportunity to become citizens. The United States receives more immigrants than any other country in the world. Most of the people that are immigrants say that it's important if an immigrant comes from a different country. Immigrants own businesses in the United States. They generate more than $775 billion in sales and pay more than $126 billion in payroll each year. It does not matter if they are from a different country or Latin America. Some people have been born in America as a citizen, being God as immigrants. There are already a lot of immigrants in America who have varying amounts of family left back in their homes, sometimes their entire family. They want to reunite with their family, but they can't because they aren't citizens. When they hear news how well their family is doing in a new country, it motivates them to make because they tried to pursue their dreams and it just didn't work. Immigrants contribute to our economy, their hard working and safe education to become better at life. Immigrants are our engineers, scientists, and innovators. Immigrants start businesses. According to Small Businesses Administration, immigrants are 30% more likely to start businesses in the United States than non-immigrants, and 18% of all small businesses owners in the United States are immigrants. Immigrants that have been years and years building lives in the United States deserve a better citizenship. Also, immigrants work very hard at lowering prices and deserve better in the United States. Immigrants had helped the United States by bringing their skills, so immigrants deserve better respect. Therefore, the United States should let illegal immigration opportunity to become citizens. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Olivia. My topic is immigration. The United States should let illegal immigrants the opportunity to become citizens. Illegal immigrants deserve to become citizens in the United States because everyone came to this country to have the same rights and deserve better citizenship in this country. This is a problem because illegal immigrants work hard at low-paying jobs and get mistreated just because they were born and lived in the country. Illegal immigrants should not become citizens by paperwork, but for how long and how work they live in the country. This issue affects future illegal immigrants in a way that they aren't citizens. Just because they were born in the country, they will never get the same respect and citizenship as a normal American citizen has. An American citizen will make the immigrants feel unsure of themselves, and it's not fair. And the population of illegal immigrants would go down due to this. The United States should let illegal immigrants the opportunity to become citizens. Immigrants that spent their years building lives in the United States deserve better citizenship. Citizenship means the participatory member of the political community. A normal citizen has rights and privileges, and an immigrant doesn't have those rights and privileges in the United States. Only of course if they are citizens. Many Americans don't show great citizenship with legal immigrants. Even some Americans don't want immigrants to speak their language or follow their customs in the United States. So, if Americans didn't want foreign people in the country and not giving them the same rights, then why did they write the Declaration of Independence? That all people are equal. When illegal immigrants work hard at their jobs, which are low-paying jobs, and do all of that for the family, for the children, so they can have a better life than they had in their other country. They deserve citizenship because they're people too. They want the best for the children in the United States. Immigrants work hard at low-paying jobs and deserve better in the United States. Like for example, businesses like to hire immigrants because they work hard at work many hours and are not paid a lot of money. These illegal immigrants earn less than $24,000 per year on average, probably much less. In addition, when a normal citizen earns $200,000, that's $176 more than a normal legal immigrant makes in 2 years' worth of work. To make the statement more fair, according to WashingtonPost.com, states that critics of illegal immigrants complain that undocumented workers squeeze out American-born workers by undercutting wages. Immigrants not being citizens takes money away from the government. According to research.org, states that there are 11.3 unauthorized immigrants in the United States. the number of immigrants that could come to the United States. Many immigrants are racist to illegal immigrants, and also Americans are racist to illegal immigrants in the United States. Immigrants should have the same rights because they are human like us and are trying to build a better life for their family and etc. Immigrants that spend their years spending in the United States deserve better citizenship. Also, immigrants who work hard at low-paying jobs deserve better in the United States. In addition, immigrants not being citizens takes away money from the government. Immigrants that have helped the United States by bringing the skills and heritage. Furthermore, the United States deserve better respect and the United States should become citizens. Therefore, the United States should let illegal immigrants opportunities to become citizens.
Education policy. Public schools in Chicago shall allow all students to use their cell phone in school. Public schools in Chicago shall allow all students to use their cell phones in school. This issue matters to me because kids should be allowed to use their cell phones. By allowing cell phones in school, it will help their parents and their kids. This is why I believe that Chicago Public Schools shall allow all students to be able to use their phones in school. Allowing students who have cell phones with them allows them to schedule things that make important content or extreme case, providing the benefit of students being able to use their phones after school or in the case of an emergency. By allowing students to process phone during school, this gives them the opportunity to mature and learn responsibility, allowed to learn, grow, and make mistakes. You're like allowing students the freedom to make their phones or other devices out if they are caught using their cell phones or reprimanded them. Then it gives them a chance to grow in maturity. Allowing cell phones forces students to be responsible with their phones and learn from mistakes they make with the ability to possess cell phones. A punishment for using cell phones during inappropriate time will they be active. Cell phones keep you safe, believe it or not. Cell phones could save your life in case of an emergency. I believe cell phones keep students happy. Cell phones can keep you safe by letting you call for help when you need it. Cell phones can instantly track you. I believe cell phones keep the students will need to learn more and more productive, more likely to see. Allowing students who have cell phones with them allows them to schedule things and make important content or action case by allowing them to process phones in school. This gives them the opportunity to mature and responsibility. Cell phone forces students to be responsible with their phones and learn from mistakes they make. So, therefore, public schools in Chicago shall allow all students to use cell phones in school.
Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'm talking about education policy. If public schools should be allowed to systematically drug test students. Kids these days are doing drugs and drinking beer or alcohol. This is a big problem for these students' health and their family. The drugs that students are using can and will affect them now and future, and also will affect the school plus the teachers or any adults who works there. I believe students from grade 1 to 12 should get drug tested. I will show you why I think they should get drug tested in schools or anywhere else. Sometimes if students come to school drunk, that student can put other students at risk. So if a student comes to school drunk, that student don't know what he's doing. Who knows, that students can break the whole school down or injure someone. are using a certain drug, they'll try not to show it. So how are we gonna come to stop it? And this is why schools should start drug testing students. If schools started drug testing, they can possibly find out who has drugs or who is using them. We don't start systematically drug testing students, it can be bad for them now and in the future. In schools, little kids want to try everything, so if they see a person older than them, they'll think it's alright. So sometimes little kids ask where they got it from, then the older students will say where they got it from. When little kids find out, and then they'll try going in the fridge, see if they have any beer to steal from the dad. Schools should systematically drug test students because teenagers are getting pregnant while smoking, drinking, or doing cocaine. When the female teenagers gets pregnant and does drugs, their baby will come out mutated or deformed. Most teen thinks it's cool, but actually they're messing up their lives. Teens or kids will mostly drop out of school due to the drugs they use, and that will grow up without any education. These are all my life experience when I was little, like about 4 to 8 years old. My brother does drugs, but he mostly smokes and can't stop. When he has no money or when he runs out of cigarettes, he asks people if he could get a cigarette or money. But when they say no, he gets mad and starts to throw stuff and punches the wall. He even asked me and my friends for money. When he was little, he dropped out of school because of the drugs. And look at him now. He has no job, no education, no house, no wife, no nothing. So if you're still doing drugs, you're going to fail at life like how my brother did. Drugs are a big problem because kids are dropping out of school and ruining their health and education. When kids come to school drunk or act weird, that can affect the whole school because it could get teachers arrested or close to school. If you don't want your students to come out a failure and always getting arrested, then you should agree with me, and therefore schools just systematically drug test students. Thank you.
And today I'm going to be talking about education policy. Middle school students should be randomly drug tested. Many students come to school drunk or drugged. This will be trouble for them by not doing what they're supposed to do in school. This will also affect the student by getting expelled, going to jail too, and ruining their careers in the future. I believe that middle schools should have drug testing. Many students wouldn't be focused on their schoolwork. Why? Because many teens who use drugs aren't able to live up to their academic or social potentials, which means living or talking with other people. Also, they will have many problems during school, like not paying attention, memory loss, moods, and messing up on their classwork. According to debate.org, this teen had a father that when he went to school, he would be sleeping a lot, having moods, and also becoming severely depressed during the days. Using drugs can have a variety of negative consequences for teens. According to Walter J.P., many students who use drugs and go to school are able to live up to academic or social potentials. test can encourage others not to take drugs. How, you might ask? A random drug test in school will give the students a fear of being drug tested next. Also, the student won't know when they will be tested. Random drug tests will make students quit doing drugs and live successful lives and getting jobs. A drug test helps them lead to healthy, successful lives to live longer, says Walter J.P. Also, doing drugs will save teens money and also keep relationships with families and friends because drugs will make the student do crazy things. Drugs can also ruin many relationships with families. Drugs have a big effect on teen lives. The use of drugs will make the ND students sleep a lot, eat a lot, have moods, and throw up. In today's world, teens are not able to live up to their schoolwork and their social potentials. Young people who use drugs are even casually put themselves at risk for going to jail and getting expelled. Also, teens using drugs will not be able to graduate or pass in the next grade. Many students will be focused. Using drugs can have a negative effect and consequence for the teens. A drug test will encourage others not to take drugs. Random drug tests will make the student quit doing drugs and live successful lives and getting jobs. Drugs have a big effect on teen lives. Therefore, middle schools should have random drug tests. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is and my topic today is law enforcement policy. Police forces of the United States should monitor us more closely. The people of this world have given the police officers the power to protect and serve, but it seems that they have been given too much. People everywhere are being beaten, wrongfully accused, and even killed. Why? Because it seems police officers are becoming corrupt. The term police brutality has been being used since the late 1800s, which means it's not new. The biggest example of police brutality would be the Civil Rights Act, where there you can see pictures and videos of people being beaten and hit with a water hose, a fire hose. Well, now let's skip to the late 1900s, where the U.S. Department of Justice reported that approximately 42,000 people were estimated to be in contact with police that used excessive force when it wasn't necessary. Most of the people are starting to riot at the police and demanding justice. If someone sees the police arresting a convict, they can say that he's innocent, and they'll start to throw things, call him names, and even try to hurt him. For years, the police have been creating a fearful environment, making people afraid, making them not say anything at all. In South Carolina, there was an incident that showed a girl getting forcefully grabbed and flipped out of her desk because she refused to stand up and leave. In Chicago, there was the murder of Paul McDonald's. But the one that impacted me the most would be the involuntary homicide of Oscar Grant, a modern, hard-working man who had, after having his child, wanted to go out and celebrate. On his way back on a New Year's Eve, on a train, a policeman stopped him, pulled him out, dragged him onto the ground, arrested him, and then shot him point blank. The officer supposedly says it was an accident, and he meant to pull out his taser. But in the case of McDonald's death, police did not release the tape for 13 months. Chicago officials released the dash cam footage after the shooting of the 17-year-old on October 2015. The video's release came hours after state officials finally accused the policeman, I can't remember his last name, Victor. After hearing his testimony, they convicted him of murder. But now things are starting to change now. After people are getting involved more, the police are now wearing body cams. And they try to enforce a new law where the police will not hand over their handheld weapons and replace them with tasers. But you have to remember, not all police officers are bad. Most police brutality cases are actually fraudulent and are not real at all. And innocent police officers, well, get arrested, while others seem to be getting away with it. There's one thing the police are good at, it's hiding something. In one state in Texas, 13 people were shot and killed. Not one person says anything. From there, the FBI tells us that policemen and women sometimes suffer serious situations. They even get killed by random people unknowingly. Surveys in recent years with minority groups, Latinos and African Americans in particular, suggest that confidence in law enforcement is relatively low, and large portions of these communities believe that police are likely to use excessive force on suspects. In 2014, PEW Research Center survey confirms that stark racial divisions in response to the fraudulent police shootings, as well as develop revised instincts and historical patterns of distrust. According to a PEW US Today poll conducted in August 2014, Americans of all races and collectively give relatively low marks to the police department around the country for holding officers accountable, using the approximate amount of force and threatening racial and ethnic groups equally. Social scientists who have been doing excessive field research and interview note the deep sense of mistrust and inverted in many communities. In 2013, 49,851 officers were estimated to be assaulted during a day on duty, an injury rate of 29.2%, and according to the FBI reports, 27 officers were killed. This is the world we're walking into. This is a world where we're not going to do anything because one, no one says anything, and two, it seems that no one's trying to stop it. But that's already changing. Hopefully, by the end of this century, or maybe even tomorrow, no one will ever have to go out with fear of being shot, killed, or assaulted. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Eberhart School, and my topic will be education policy. School policy should shorten the length of school time. When it comes to school and its length students and teachers spend, it is still being an issue up to today. Why this would be important would be because teachers and students would be the ones mainly harmed from the situation, but mostly the students would be the most harmed by this, and the teachers would be, no offense. The teachers' harms would be after the students. Now, the place I would stand in this argument would be the attacking side, where I would be defending the students and teachers, not the school policy. Alright, now let's get started. Since there would be more time put into classes, one way school policy would need to shorten their school length. Students and teachers would be spending. Students would begin the day off slow, and soon students would begin to be lazy and tired the more they stay in class. Pretty much, the more students have time at school, the more that they would have to start to get bored and tired. Some students would rather tend to stay home rather than go to school because of the amount of time they'll be taking in school. And since students would be getting bored, they wouldn't want to do the work, and because they won't be completing or even doing the work, and their future would be terrible for them unless they manage to have luck by their side. Another reason why school should shorten the amount of time that kids should be spending would be kids would be stressed for the amount of time they just sit in a chair just looking at their own paper or homework for 20 or more minutes in complete silence. If that were me, I would go insane. Another way school time could affect a student would be students wouldn't be having much time to spend with their family. School would be taking too much time for a student to bond with his or her own family members. The only person that the student will have to be bonding with is his or own teacher and strangers. friends with. Families are most important to a child's life. We all need family because we trust our own families too. And the policy of public schools used to have their time of dismissal at 2:30 p.m. School policy never really wanted to change the time. In the past, all students would get around at 2:30 and that would be it. Students used to like the system of the past. It was a good system, and the teachers could have gone out of school earlier than today's school time. Then, if we still had this time for students to exit the schools, students would have more time for the day than just going home and the sun already going down. School time hasn't been much help for the youth or teens, though it has helped a little, but for students it has caused more effects than benefits either. Therefore, school policy should shorten the length of school time.
Good morning, my name is Santos Montulão, and I'm doing education policy. Students shouldn't have to wear uniforms. The issue is that kids don't have this freedom. This is a problem because they can't express themselves in the hallways or show kids what kind of clothes they got for their birthdays or for Christmas. This affects the kids because they can't be themselves anymore because all they wear is white with navy blue pants or whatever uniform you have to take to school. This affects the kids because I don't think they know how to match color t-shirts with their pants because all they wear in school is the uniform with navy blue or white shirts. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution is that all individuals have the right to express themselves freely. In October 2013, Fairleigh High School in Georgia, students were not allowed to wear pink. 75 students got a school suspension for wearing pink. All they wanted to do is support breast cancer. It teaches about Rosa Parks and Susan B. Anthony and Booker T. Washington, how they all express themselves. We learned about people, how they express themselves, and we can even express ourselves in the hallways. Don't these schools do enough damage making these children think alike? Now they're going to get us to look alike too. Take away two uniforms, take away the kids' freedom, and the uniforms cost a lot of money. If you are required to wear one and you don't, you can get detention. When you wear a school uniform, you feel locked up inside feeling that nobody really knows who you are. Uniform also makes students feel weird and they look like if they belong in prison. When students have these privileges taken away, it becomes harder for kids to feel like themselves in general. Students feel that they have been turned into robots without the ability to express themselves. Is that most students get bored with the same uniform over and over. Students get bored using the same uniform, always the same color. All they want is different colored t-shirts and pants. Therefore, students should have to wear uniforms to school. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Sandra Velasquez. I will be talking about immigration. Illegal immigrants in the United States should be given the opportunity to become a citizen. I believe many immigrants want to be citizens so they could have better lives and also for their children. A lot of immigrants will not have to suffer as much as before and they could have better jobs and go to schools and also go to colleges. By having this done, many immigrants of becoming United States citizens' dreams will become true. This is why immigrants should be given the opportunity to become citizens. Immigrants want a much better life and future. Immigrants would like to have better jobs, homes, and schools for them to study and learn. Immigrants cross the border illegally because it's hard getting their green card and frustrates them, and that is why they cross the border illegally to have a better future and life in the United States. They come here to live their dreams. Some immigrants come to America to escape different kinds of persecutions in their home country, whether it's religious, political, economical, or social. They want to reunite with their
and jobs like legal citizens in the United States, and they want to be successful like the legal citizens. Many immigrants cannot go to college because they're illegal immigrants. Immigrants are also afraid of buying a car because they are afraid that police might catch them driving illegally and ask them for their license and not have it in case they report it back. Immigrants should be able to succeed in life and also their children. Immigrants by coming to the United States get courses. The most surprising finding from that message is now insistent immigrants are that learning English is critical for their success. Immigrants show deep commitment to the work ethic, once again critical for their success. Once again reflecting the historical price of American value. Immigrants bring new things to the United States and they also bring benefits. Immigrants became the building blocks of our nation families. They work at hard jobs and making money trying to do because they don't have the necessity like working on the fields, doing crafts, or on fabrics. Succeeding generations have helped make our nation prosperous and keep our great cities thriving. Immigrants could give the United States an economic edge in the world. Immigrants bring innovation, ideas, and entrepreneurial spirit to the United States economy. Immigrants work in all types of occupations. They are teachers, scientists, engineers, and construction workers. That type of occupation. Illegal immigrants are people like everyone else. They come here to live their dreams. Some immigrants come to America. Immigrants are the same as other people that are legal in the United States. Immigrants want to be citizens so they can have better lives and also for their children. Immigrants want a much better future. Immigrants would like to have better jobs, homes, and schools for them to study and learn. Immigrants have a lot of problems because of not being citizens and citizens. Immigrants bring new things to America, and they also bring benefits. Immigrants became the building blocks of the nation colonies. Therefore, illegal immigrants in the United States should be given the opportunity to become citizens. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Jasmine Brown, and today I will be talking about education policy. High school shouldn't allow daycare services for students or children. Many teachers don't get paid because the money goes to children daycares. This is a problem because the teachers that are getting paid because of a student's mistake. This affects the government and teachers because the money they're receiving goes to a daycare. That is why schools shouldn't provide daycare services for students with children. I believe many students should have the responsibility to take care of their own child. High school shouldn't be the one taking care of the student's mistake. This child doesn't correspond to schools or teachers, so it's not the school's responsibility to take care of the student's child. In my opinion, I believe students should either take care of their own child or send their child to daycare experience, but isn't a high school. If the school is for students to learn, there shouldn't be no daycare services in high school. Teachers are there to teach oriented classes for students. For some teen moms, it might be difficult to focus in school because they're going to be thinking of their child. Teachers and helpers don't only have one child to take care of, or many others, and they can watch all of them at the same time. Many other teachers, staff, and helpers have other things to do. I believe there's tons of big deals increasing daycares in high schools. All schools get their money from taxpayers. Most of the money is going to our daycare to help some students. Although I think taxpayers shouldn't pay for someone's mistake, including the daycare, it would need to bonus some money from teachers' salaries. If you make the decision to have sex, it's your problem and you have to deal with it. The majority of teen moms drop out of high schools because they have watched the child. In some cases, this leads teen moms from not being able to get decent jobs. I also believe it was the student's mistake, not teachers, staff, or helpers' mistake. People shouldn't be after someone's error because it wasn't them who committed it. If the student can't handle taking care of the child, they should take the child to daycare, not the school because it was his teacher's time. Many teachers
be talking about society and law. There should be punishment for child rapists. There are rapists all over the world that do damage to children. This issue is important because every day a child is getting raped. This does not only affect society by putting them in danger, but also affects the life of those who have already experienced this issue. I believe that actions should be taken to stop it from harming. One action we should take is there should be more police on the streets at night, and parents should not let their children be at night out in the streets. That will avoid their child getting raped. My position on this problem is that I am against child rape. Many people consider sexual abuse